researcher in this field, we all feel that the Sphinx was almost certainly a complete lion.
This world hides stories beneath our feet, stories so old they challenge the very foundation of history as we know it. What if ancient humans weren't primitive, but part of a forgotten civilization wiped out by cataclysm?
All around the world, it's a universal story of a massive cataclysm.
Graham Hancock has long questioned the official timeline, and now new discoveries seem to echo his warnings. A wooden structure nearly 500,000 years old in Zambia, sunken stone cities near Japan, megaliths that defy explanation. These aren't theories, they're real, and they force us to ask, what else have we missed? What truth lies buried beneath centuries of silence? Let's find out. The wooden structure that changes everything. In the heart of northern Zambia, near the Kalambo Falls, archaeologists have unearthed something that could change human history forever. A wooden structure estimated to be nearly 476,000 years old. That's not a typo. It's older than Homo sapiens. This discovery, made by a team of scientists in 2023, throws a wrench into everything we thought we knew about early humans. It wasn't made with stone tools or bronze chisels, but with wood, cut, notched, and joined together in ways that suggest planning, skill, and intention. The structure appears to be part of a platform, possibly a walkway, or the foundation of a shelter. It was found submerged beneath layers of silt and sediment, perfectly preserved thanks to the oxygen-free environment of the riverbed. This isn't just a pile of logs, it's engineered. The wood was shaped using tools and fitted together, evidence of structural thinking almost 500,000 years ago. To many, this feels impossible. How could such ancient ancestors, predating even modern humans, be capable of construction? But to Graham Hancock, it's another piece of a much larger puzzle. For years, Hancock has argued that our history goes deeper than textbooks admit. He's spoken about a lost civilization, one wiped out by cataclysm roughly 12,800 years ago. While mainstream archaeologists scoffed, discoveries like this make that theory harder to ignore. This wooden structure proves that intelligence, craftsmanship, and architectural ambition existed long before the rise of the first known civilizations. It suggests that our ancestors weren't just surviving, they were building. And if they were building with wood 500,000 years ago, what might they have done with stone, metal, or knowledge now lost to time? The past isn't what we've been told, and this is only the beginning. The Gate of Lions and Lost Power. Standing tall at the entrance of the ancient city of Mycenae in Greece is a structure that whispers of forgotten power. The Lion Gate. Built around the 13th century BCE, this massive stone gateway is more than just a relic. It's a statement. The gate rises nearly 10 feet, its lintel stone weighing over 20 tons, and above it, 2 lions carved in relief seem to guard the entrance with silent authority. It's one of the earliest known examples of monumental sculpture in Europe, and it's unlike anything else from its time. The civilization that built it, the Mycenaeans, were warriors, traders, and kings. But despite their influence, much of their world remains shrouded in mystery. How did they move such massive stones with such precision? Why did they choose to place the lion figures in that particular triangular composition above the doorway? Some say it's purely symbolic. Others suggest deeper meanings, perhaps connected to religious beliefs or power hierarchies lost to time. Graham Hancock often points to structures like this
all around the world. It's a universal story of a massive cataclysm.
when asking the bigger question, are we looking at a standalone culture or the echo of something even older, something passed down? The Lion Gate feels like more than architecture, it feels like inheritance. The gate's structure resembles megalithic techniques seen in places as far as Peru and Turkey. Could these be signs of shared knowledge or even global memory from a civilization that came before? Heinrich Schliemann rediscovered the site in the 19th century, but what he found may only scratch the surface. The more we study these ancient gates and stones, the more the timeline begins to blur. Was Mycenae truly the beginning, or was it building on something we've already forgotten? Because when you pass through the Lion Gate, you're not just entering a city, you're stepping into a mystery. The sunken monument of Japan. Beneath the quiet waves off the coast of Yonaguni Island in Japan lies a mystery carved in stone.
Unrecorded human history beneath the ocean surface that we don't know very much about at all.
Discovered in 1986 by local diver Kihachiro Aratake, the Yonaguni Monument is a massive underwater structure with flat surfaces, sharp angles, and straight lines. Features that scream design rather than coincidence. It resembles a stepped pyramid or a sunken temple, complete with what looks like staircases, platforms, and terraces. But here's the catch: it's underwater, nearly 500 feet beneath the surface. Mainstream geologists argue it's a natural formation shaped by tectonic activity and erosion. But others, including Graham Hancock, see something else entirely. To Hancock, the monument may be a remnant of a civilization lost at sea, literally. He believes it could date back to the end of the last ice age, over 12,000 years ago, when sea levels rose rapidly, submerging coastal settlements around the globe. If that's true, it would make the Yonaguni Monument older than the pyramids of Egypt, older than Stonehenge, possibly even older than known human civilization itself. Divers and researchers have identified what appear to be roads, walls, and even a large carved face on the side of the structure. These features seem too deliberate to be random, and yet no tools, artifacts, or human remains have been recovered. Nothing that officially confirms human involvement. Still, the monument continues to divide opinion and fuel speculation. Is it proof of a prehistoric culture lost to rising seas, or just an impressive quirk of geology? What makes Yonaguni so important is not whether it's man-made or not, but what it forces us to consider: that our planet has secrets hidden beneath its oceans, and that human history, like the monument itself, may be deeper, more complex, and far older than we ever imagined. Dolmens across continents. Across vast stretches of Europe and Asia, ancient stone structures known as dolmens continue to puzzle archaeologists and stir the imagination of those who question the mainstream version of history. These megalithic tombs, often consisting of 2 or more vertical stones supporting a massive horizontal capstone, date back over 5,000 years. You'll find them in places as far apart as Ireland, France, Korea, and Japan, separated by oceans, cultures, and millennia. And yet, strangely, they look remarkably similar. How could this be? To Graham Hancock, this isn't a coincidence, it's a pattern, a clue. He suggests that dolmens may be part of a global architectural legacy left behind by a forgotten civilization that predates recorded history. If true, these structures could be the last surviving echoes of a world wiped out by the cataclysm around 12,800 years ago, a world that somehow passed down knowledge across space and time. Mainstream archaeologists argue that dolmens likely developed independently, as burial sites or ritual spaces. The similarity, they say, comes from shared human needs rather than shared cultural memory. But the precision with which these massive stones were moved, balanced, and aligned raises deeper questions. Some dolmens even show signs of astronomical alignment, further complicating their purpose. In Japan's Kanto region and in the hills of the British Isles, dolmens stand as quiet sentinels of a distant past. Whether you see them as independent inventions or remnants of a global tradition, one thing is clear: they weren't built by chance. They were built with meaning, and that meaning may be far older and far more connected than we've dared to believe. The Longyu Caves, a forgotten underground world. In 1992, in the quiet village of Xianbeikun in China's Zhejiang province, a group of farmers drained a pond and uncovered something astonishing. Beneath the surface was the entrance to a massive man-made cave. Not just one, but 24 enormous underground chambers, each carved with uncanny precision. Today, these are known as the Longyu Caves, and they remain one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in archaeology. The scale is staggering. Covering over 30,000 square meters, some of the caves reach heights of 30 meters. The walls are perfectly smooth, the corners sharp, and every surface marked with parallel chisel lines, as if the builders were following a strict and consistent blueprint. But here's the most baffling part. No historical record mentions these caves. No tools have been found. No writings, no references. It's as if they were built and then erased from memory. Graham Hancock has pointed to the Longyu Caves as further proof that ancient civilizations may have been far more advanced than we've imagined. The sheer amount of rock removed, estimated at 1 million cubic meters, would have taken years, even decades, to excavate. And without modern machinery, how was this even possible? Were these caves storage facilities, temples, or something else entirely? No one knows for sure, but their silence speaks volumes. Whoever carved them had not just strength, but vision. And just like so many other ancient anomalies around the world, the Longyu Caves suggest we're only beginning to scratch the surface of our hidden past.
Now first, like always, be sure to hit the like button down below. It helps us out tremendously with the reach of this video. Thank you.
The impossible stones of Balbeck. In the ancient city of Balbeck, Lebanon, lie some of the heaviest stone blocks ever used in construction. So massive, they defy logic. At the Temple of Jupiter, part of what was once known as Heliopolis, these stones form the foundation of a colossal structure. Among them is the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, weighing an estimated 1,000 tons. That's not a myth, it's real, and it's still sitting in a nearby quarry, perfectly cut but never moved. Modern engineers admit it would be extremely difficult to move such a stone even today, with advanced cranes and machinery. So how did people over 2,000 years ago manage it? No records exist, no writings explain the technique, just silence and stone. Graham Hancock and others see Balbeck as a key clue, evidence that an earlier civilization, possibly pre-Roman and even prehistoric, had advanced construction abilities lost to time. The Roman structures built atop these foundations are well documented, but the base stones? Their origin is still a mystery. Some believe massive ramps and manpower were enough. Others suspect more forgotten knowledge was involved, techniques we simply don't understand.
There's a huge rock wall.
What's undeniable is the precision. The stones are cut to fit together so tightly, you can't slide a sheet of paper between them. Balbeck isn't just a marvel of ancient engineering. It's a riddle, a place where the weight of stone is matched only by the weight of unanswered questions. And those questions may reach deeper into our forgotten past than we ever imagined. Sigiriya, fortress on the Lion Rock. Rising 200 meters above the jungles of central Sri Lanka, the massive rock of Sigiriya holds one of the most astonishing ancient sites in the world. Known as Lion Rock, it's home to a 5th-century fortress built by King Kashyapa, an architectural wonder that blends natural landscape with human ambition. But Sigiriya is more than just a military stronghold. It's a puzzle of art, planning, and ancient engineering far ahead of its time. To enter the fortress, visitors once walked through a massive gateway carved to resemble a lion's open jaws, now eroded but still symbolic of power and control. On top of the rock, Kashyapa built his palace, surrounded by terraced gardens, pools, and intricate hydraulic systems that still function today during monsoon rains. Below, a mirror wall and vibrant frescoes of celestial maidens speak to a rich artistic culture. What truly baffles researchers is how such a complex site was constructed on an almost vertical rock face using only primitive tools. Moving materials to that height, shaping rock, managing water flow, it all required a level of precision and vision rarely seen in ancient history. To Graham Hancock and those who challenge the mainstream timeline, Sigiriya suggests something deeper. A carryover of ancient knowledge, perhaps from a much older civilization. A place where engineering met symbolism, and where the lines between myth and memory start to blur. Sigiriya doesn't just rise above the forest. It rises above our assumptions, whispering of a past we're only beginning to remember. The Kaimanawa Wall. New Zealand's megalithic mystery. Deep within the Kaimanawa forest of New Zealand lies a structure that has stirred both intrigue and controversy, the so-called Kaimanawa Wall. At first glance, it looks unmistakably man-made. Massive stone blocks stacked in a precise, uniform pattern, with flat faces and sharp edges that seem to defy natural formation. Some of the blocks appear so perfectly aligned that a knife blade can barely pass between them. But here's the mystery. Mainstream geologists argue the wall is simply a natural volcanic formation, shaped over thousands of years by erosion and pressure. They say it's ignimbrite, a type of rock formed from volcanic ash flows that cooled and cracked in a block-like pattern. An unusual geological coincidence, nothing more. Yet not everyone is convinced. Graham Hancock and others who question conventional history believe the Kaimanawa Wall might be a remnant of a long-lost civilization, one that predates the arrival of the Maori people. If true, this would radically alter the timeline of human habitation in New Zealand and point to a culture capable of sophisticated stonework long before any known builders lived there. What fuels the debate is the lack of formal archaeological investigation. To this day, no extensive excavation or dating has been carried out on the site. It remains a quiet, forested enigma. The Kaimanawa Wall stands as a symbol of a deeper question. How much of our past have we misread as natural, simply because we weren't ready to see it? Sometimes, mystery is carved not just in stone, but in silence. The Abandoned Giants of Yangshan Quarry. Hidden in the hills near Nanjing, China.
Hey guys, this is Mike with The Wandering Wolf, and we're here at Yangshan Quarry.
The Yangshan Quarry holds the ghost of a forgotten ambition. 3 massive stone blocks carved directly into the mountainside, each too large to ever be moved. Commissioned in the 15th century by Emperor Yongle of the Ming dynasty, these blocks were meant to form a giant stele in honor of his late father. But the project was abandoned mid-construction, and what remains is both breathtaking and baffling. The largest of the 3 stones, the base, measures over 16 meters long and is estimated to weigh more than 16,000 tons. Even today, with our most advanced cranes and machines, moving such a block would be nearly impossible. So how did ancient workers expect to lift and transport it centuries ago? Some historians argue that the project simply grew beyond what was physically achievable and was halted when the impossibility became clear. But Graham Hancock and others view it as a window into lost capabilities, evidence that ancient builders may have possessed techniques or knowledge we no longer understand. What's even more fascinating is the precision of the carving. The surfaces are smooth, the lines exact, and the scale almost surreal. It suggests a high level of planning, coordination, and skill, qualities often underestimated in ancient societies. The Yangshan Quarry isn't just a place of abandoned stones, it's a monument to ambition, and perhaps a reminder that history is filled with half-finished dreams and forgotten technologies. Not every mystery is lost to time, some are still lying in plain sight. Kailasa Temple, carved from a single mountain. In the rocky hills of Maharashtra, India, lies one of the most extraordinary feats of ancient engineering, the Kailasa Temple at Ellora. Unlike traditional temples built stone by stone, this one was carved top-down from a single mountain of solid basalt. It's not just a sculpture or a sanctuary, it's an entire temple complex, monoliths, courtyards, towers, pillars, all etched directly into the earth. Believed to have been commissioned in the 8th century by King Krishna I of the Rashtrakuta dynasty, the temple required the removal of nearly 200,000 tons of rock. And not just removed, precisely chiseled, shaped, and aligned into a structure that still stuns modern architects and engineers. What's baffling is the method. Working from the top down meant there was no room for error. A single misstep could have ruined the entire structure. Yet the result is flawless. Intricate carvings of deities, mythological scenes, and symmetrical columns fill the complex details that would be challenging even with today's tools. Graham Hancock highlights Kailasa as a prime example of ancient knowledge that defies conventional timelines. The scale, speed, and precision needed suggest techniques or understanding we don't fully grasp. Could this be a carryover of wisdom from an earlier forgotten civilization? Mainstream history credits human dedication and ingenuity, but Kailasa whispers of something more, of secrets locked in stone, of builders whose knowledge may have come from a time before time. It's not just a temple, it's a message from the deep past, written in silence and shadow. Every stone tells a story, but not all stories have been fully heard. From sunken monuments to mountain-carved temples, these ancient sites don't just challenge history, they demand that we listen closer. Whether built by forgotten civilizations or shaped by hands we've yet to understand, each mystery leaves behind a quiet echo, one that modern science can't always explain, but can't ignore either. Graham Hancock may not have all the answers, but he dares to ask the questions we're afraid to face. Because maybe, just maybe, our past is far older and far stranger than we ever dared to believe.